UPSC Mains 2024 GS1 paper completed. The syllabus of GS1 is History and Culture of India, World Geography, Indian Society, Social Issues, etc. In this syllabus, presently in the question paper given by UPSC Mains in 2024, the questions are static. Most of the questions are static and most of the questions are basic questions. There are no twisters or there are no very tough questions in the question paper. You can see the questions are very regular questions and well-read student, well-read aspirant can handle the questions very easily. Let's see the questions. First question, underline the changes in the field of society and economy from Rigvedic to later Vedic period. We all know that in Rigvedic period, women were treated equally. There is no complete hierarchies in the society and caste. Whereas in the later Vedic period, in economy, coins were introduced, the caste discrimination started, all these things. So you have to write a map chart like thing by writing one paragraph about Vedic period, that is Rigvedic period, and one paragraph about later Vedic period. And you need to write the differences in the society and differences in the economy. This is the structure. The second question, estimate the contribution of Pallavas of Kanchi for the development of art and literature of South India. Pallavas supported languages like Sanskrit, Telugu, Prakrit, Tamil, etc. Kanchi was an important center of Sanskrit learning. Particularly, Mahendra Varman, he himself wrote few texts in Sanskrit, Mattavalsa Prahashana and Bhagavata Ajikiyam. All these texts were written by Mahendra Varman. Pallavas also patronized fine arts. So, you have to see the art of Pallavas, particularly Kailashnath temple at Kanchi, etc. These answers you have to write. The third question is, what were the events that led to the Quit India movement? Point out its results. So, we need to write why we launched Quit India movement. What led to the Quit India movement? What led to the Quit India movement? Indians were dragged into the war without Indian consent. Second thing, failure of Cripps mission. Third thing, inflation. All these things led, and also the myth of white men's invincibility was shattered. And point out its results. Quit India movement have produced tremendous results. So all these points, 50 words. What are the events that led? 50 to 75 words. You should write about events that led to the Quit India movement, and another minimum 50 words you should write on results of Quit India movement. That's all. Next, fourth question. What is sea surface temperature rise? How does it affect the formation of tropical cyclones? You should write basic definition of sea surface temperature rise. As greenhouse gases trap more energy from sun, the oceans are absorbing more heat, resulting in an increase in sea surface temperatures and rising in sea levels. So, how these rising in sea levels lead to tropical cyclones? You should explain. This is the phenomena. And next question, fifth question. Why do large cities tend to attract more migrants than smaller towns? Discuss in the light of conditions in developing countries. You can see India or Brazil or the countries like South Africa. In these countries, large cities, why people tend to get attracted to large cities? Because of infrastructure, employment opportunities, educational opportunities, healthcare, organized lifestyle, good transportation system, good incomes, all these things. You can make it more structural answer, giving more examples for this. And for that reason, the countries like India are launching many schemes to promote good facilities in the cities like Smart Cities program. Next, sixth question. What is a cloud burst? A cloud burst is an enormous amount of precipitation in a small period of time. Sometimes it might be accompanied with hails and thunders, and sometimes it might create floods also. Recently, what happened in Vijayawada is a example of cloud burst. Recently in Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh also, we can see many cloud burst situations. Next question, seventh question. What is the concept of demographic winter? Is the world moving towards such a situation? Elaborate. What is demographic winter? Low birth rates across many countries in the world and the consequences of low birth rates. See, in Russia, low birth rates, in China, low birth rates, in Hungary, low birth rates. We can see in most of the countries, in Japan, low birth rates, So this is called the consequences of low birth rates is called demographic winter. Low birth rates in most of the countries in the world and how it is going to affect globally. So the globe is going to see the demographic shortage, particularly working age shortage in next 20-30 years. And coming back, eighth question, distinguish between gender equality, gender equity and women empowerment. Why it is important to take gender concerns into account in program design and implementation. See, equality is treating everyone same, similar. Equity means by keeping in the mind about the circumstances and their situations, we need to promote a degree of equality, not exactly the same. Equity means treating a man based on their circumstance, based on their situation. That is called equity. Equality means we have to treat everyone same. So women needs equity. Women needs a special treatment also. For example, creating a special bus travel, free bus travel for women. It's not equality, it is equity. We are promoting equity in that way. Okay, equality concept is different, equity is different. And empowerment. Empowerment means making them developmental partners. So, how we need to design the programs and other things. This is the eighth question. And ninth question, intercaste marriages between castes which have socio-economic parity have increased to some extent. But this is less true of inter-religious marriages discussed. Yes. So, the castes which are upper castes. So, now we can observe intercaste marriages between certain castes which have come up socially and economically. But this is not true in the case of inter-religious marriages. Yes, people are accepting intercaste marriages and intercaste marriages between the castes which have a similar degree of socio-economic equality is being encouraged. It is being increased now, but we are not observing more and more inter-religious marriages because people, they are really stuck with respect to religion. They are really prejudicial with respect to religion. They don't accept separate religious customs of some other communities. So that might be the very important reason you need to discuss all aspects of this. With respect to inter-religious marriages, there are many societal fears, social approbation, social reprobation, indoctrination, forced conversion issues. All these issues will erupt, and mainly society is not ready to accept inter-religious marriages so easily. So there are many interrelated topics relating to that. The 10th question is, in dealing with socio-economic issues of development, what kind of collaboration between governments, NGOs and private sector would be most productive? Is government cannot fill the gap all the time. NGOs and private sector should also fill the gap. All should act in coordination with respect to socio-economic issues of development. 11th question. Though the great Cholas are no more, yet their name is still remembered with great pride because of their highest achievements in the domain of art. Because of their highest achievements in the domain of art and architecture. Comment. See, Cholas are very, very famous not only for their administration but also for their art and architecture. They have built roads, cities, palaces, temples, particularly Dravidian style. And also Brihadishwara temple is very, very famous at Tanjore. That is Rajarajeshwari temple, we also call it as. And temple built by the Cholas in their capital Gangaikonda Cholapuram. And they also patronize the languages like Telugu, Kannada, Tamil, all these languages. Kamban wrote Tamil Ramayana also. You have to understand these things and you should write this answer excellently. The 12th question, how far is it correct to say that the First World War was fought essentially for the preservation of balance of power? Not completely. First World War was fought for the preservation of balance of power. Every country in the First World War has its own interest, not just balance of power. For Austria and Hungary, there is a different interest. For Russia, France, Britain, Germany, the interests are different. We cannot say First World War was fought only for the preservation of balance of power. 13th question. How far was the Industrial Revolution in England responsible for the decline of handicrafts and cottage industries in India? Yes. British goods have become cheaper. The machine-made goods have become very, very cheaper. Then Indian handicrafts, Indian cottage industries cannot compete with the British goods. Finally, it got lost. It got killed. This is a simple thing. Simple logic. British machine-made goods are much cheaper than Indian handmade goods. 14th question. The groundwater potential of the Gangetic Valley is on serious decline. How may it affect the food security of India? In the Ganga basin, we can see 40% of the fertile soil in India, more than 50% of crop productivity. But with the decline of underground Ganga water potential, there's a decline of food production in India. it is affecting the food production. In fact, 50% of the food production in that Ganga plains got affected by decline of underground water in Ganga. Next question, 15th question. What are aurora australis and aurora borealis? How are they triggered? Aurora australis and aurora borealis are both natural that occur in the Earth's atmosphere when solar particles interact with the Earth's atmosphere. They are also known as southern lights and northern lights respectively. Aurora borealis North Pole, aurora australis South Pole. Frequently, they are beautiful lights shown in the sky. Next question, question number 16. What is a twister? Why are the major twisters observed in areas around the Gulf of Mexico? Twisters and tornadoes, both are almost same. Tornadoes or twisters are different names for same type of storms. So, you need to write why they are more in Gulf of Mexico. So, twisters are almost similar storms like tornadoes. 17th question. What is regional disparity? How does it differ from diversity? How serious is the issue of regional disparity in India? Issue of regional disparity is highly serious and dangerous issue. Some regions are economically strong. Some regions are highly developed. Diversity is we should have different cultures, different languages. Diversity is something which is really appreciable, but disparity is not appreciable. Disparities in economics, disparities in society, disparities in development is really bad. 18th question. Despite comprehensive policies for equity and social justice, underprivileged sections are not yet getting the full benefits of affirmative action envisaged by the Constitution. See, affirmative action is nothing but reservation. Why most of the underprivileged are not getting reservation? The reason is, in every category, the most vocal section is cornering the benefit of reservation. That's the reason why the really needy people are not actually gaining the benefit of reservation. That is the exact reason. 19th question. Globalization has increased urban migration by skilled young unmarried women from various classes. How has this trend impacted upon their personal freedom and relationship with family? So, many women from various classes, they are coming to cities, particularly skilled young unmarried women for jobs, for education, for employment, and more importantly for better lifestyle. They are coming, and more important thing with respect to women coming to urban, for freedom. They want their personalities to grow up. They don't want to depend exactly on family system completely. They want to have their independent existence and identity. So, how this trend impacting their personal freedom and relationship with the family? Definitely, it is making a woman as an individual who can earn for herself, who can own for herself, who can own her own identity. At the same time, the relationship with her family, the dependence with her family is being decreased. 20th question. Critically analyze the proposition that there is a high correlation between India's cultural diversities and socio-economic marginalities. Yes, this is also a phenomenon. So, cultural diversities and socio-economic marginalities. So, the cultures which are marginalized, the cultures which are not accepted in the mainstream, the cultures which cannot advance to the mainstream, they are facing socio-economic deprivation in India. This is a problem. That's the reason why they have asked the question, critical analysis. So, the paper is very static. A well-educated, well-read aspirant for 1 year can easily crack this paper, and by today evening, we will also provide a key for this paper, complete key in our community post. Thank you.